Hello everybody, and well, this is a video that I've been wanting to make for honestly a very long time now. And honestly, I'm kind of surprised that I haven't really, you know, done this honestly, because honestly, it's been kind of needed. If you're here for Heaven's Arena, or if you're here for Project JoJo 2, you're not going to really hear anything for those games that I work on. This video will mainly just be about Project JoJo 1 and things that I want to talk about, and I want to honestly clear up, and I want to be transparent about, these matters, because I feel like this is like really important. I've basically kind of, own PJ 1 now. I've kind of had that position for about almost a year now. It's going to be around almost a year since we did our first update on the game, which is on May 8th of 2024, which is honestly kind of crazy that it's already been that long, and I kind of feel bad because we really haven't done much with the game, and I feel like we could do a lot more. So that's what I kind of want to talk about in this video. So just looking at the past change logs, I mean, you can go back, it hasn't really been that long. There hasn't been that many, updates. Almost at, I think well, when we started, we were at version 6.02, and we're going to be soon at version 6.010. So it hasn't really been that many. And during that, there was obviously lots of bug fixes, lots of, small balances here and there. And, there was a tier 1 update that was kind of cool, but I feel like we could have done a lot better with that if we were given more time with that. There was just things that happened during that development phase. Second biggest update I would say is probably the Halloween update that we did, which we introduced the spines and we added the rebirth diary, those items that are really important to the game that I feel like now a lot of users are constantly using because they're just really good to use, and it really helps with the PJ grind. And removing the grind is something that I really want to do and want to hopefully get rid of fully soon, which I'll talk more about that soon. But anyways, I want to talk about what has happened in the past year and what I can do to fix it and things like that. I haven't been really happy with how we've been doing updates. Either they take too long or there's not many things in it. And the thing is with these updates is that they're supposed to be legacy updates. And so that kind of just means like it's not really adding new content, it's more so fixing things. Yeah, it's more so just been, fixing bugs and, fixing, balancing, problems, things like that. It hasn't been really anything too big. And honestly, when we did the Halloween update, we got like 1,000 concurrent players on Project JoJo 1. And that's something I never would have thought of ever. And honestly, I want to have that be the main goal. I want to revive the game. I feel like it is possible, and there are things that will go into that to make it possible. So obviously advertising is one major thing. A lot of people, which is why I'm making this video, don't even know PJ1 has received any updates since its abandonment from MLG from how many years ago it's been now. It's been a very long time since the game, was run by MLG. And a lot of people just don't know that. And the same thing with a lot of people just don't know that PJ2 exists. I mean, there's just a lot of people are just, under a rock, they just don't know what's been going on. And I feel like if I get this video out, at least more people might know about, PJ2 or PJ1, kind of coming back. I do believe that both PJ1 and PJ2 can run at the same time. I mean, they don't really intersect all that much because like PJ2 has a much more different player base than PJ1, and the people who play PJ1 don't really want to play PJ2, and the people who play PJ2 don't really want to play PJ1. So it's kind of like it's just different games, and at that point it's different communities. Honestly, I'm sure they do share a lot of the same people at some points, but I feel like they're different enough and they do different things, and honestly I don't think they'll bump into each other too much, if at all, really. But anyways, that's enough about PJ2. But yeah, I mean, I want to revive the game, and there's a lot of things with that. So in our newest update that we're going to get out at around, I think, April 30th, so 10 days from now when I'm recording this video, basically. In this update, there's going to be new models, bug fixes, some balancing, and also we're going to be hopefully transferring the game over to a group, basically. And don't worry, your data and all your game passes, everything's going to be exactly the same. Nothing's going to go away. Nothing's getting erased. All it is just the game's going to change ownership. Basically, I'm going to actually become the actual owner of Project JoJo 1 soon, or at least that's the plan. Obviously all of this might change. You never know. It could get delayed or it could come out sooner. I have no idea. It's really, there's really no way of telling with PJ1, and that's something I do want to talk about. It's like, just a couple months ago, or just, I think, a month ago, I kind of crashed out a little bit. I'm gonna be fully honest. I kind of crashed out, and I kind of ranted about, updating Project JoJo 1, and I'm sorry for that. I shouldn't have acted like that, and I shouldn't have said all those stuff where it's like, oh, I don't want to update the game anymore. Truthfully, I love this game a lot, and it's been with me for a very long time. I've been with it a very long time. I mean, I played within the first week of the game coming out back in 2018 or whatever, which is crazy to say that the game's been out for that long, but yeah, it's been a long time, and I love this game. Like, I went out of my way to make Project JoJo 2, and you know, that's just a testament to how much I love this game. I mean, I made a whole sequel for it, and I now kind of own the original game, and I want to continue to update it. Sure, that I have my ups and downs with it, but I'm gonna try to get better at, you know, doing stuff with this game, and I honestly do believe, like, we could at least revive the game a little bit. May not get 1,000 players like we did during the Halloween event, which I still don't know how we did that, but I thank everybody who played during that time, and I know exploiters kind of ruined it, and I'm sorry for that, but we have something to fix that hopefully soon. Yeah, I mean, there's just lots of stuff that I want to do, and I'm going to name off a few big things that I want to eventually do with the game to hopefully revive it. One of it is obviously better anti-cheat. If we can fix a lot of the main exploits of the game, a lot of the problems with the people that have with the game should be fixed, honestly, because a lot of people I see are like, oh, it's run by exploiters, it's dead because of that. And honestly, if you play like 24/7, you don't really see too many exploiters. Sometimes there's like they come in waves, really, where it's like they're super prominent like during 1 month and then they're not. It's sort of just random when they come out, and you know, it is what it is at that point. But that's something I do want to fix. I do want to get better anti-cheat. There is some anti-cheat right now, and there has been stuff that we have fixed in the past, but it's nothing to the level of where, oh, you walk into a server and everyone's just dying constantly. We haven't really fixed that all that much yet. Some stuff might not be fixable just due to how old the game is and how the code works, but we will try our best to fix a lot of those issues that people have with the game. And yeah, one thing I do ask for the players of, you know, PGJ1 and things like that, obviously there's a ton of videos on YouTube where it's like, oh, Project JoJo 1's dead and things like that. And yeah, I can understand where these YouTubers and, you know, like these content creators are coming from, where it's like, yeah, I guess you could look at it and say it's dead because it's got like, what, 80 concurrent players. But I want to try to remove that, you know, from the community headspace. I honestly want to say that Project JoJo 1 is coming back, and, you know, this will be like its revival arc. I've had ideas of releasing like new trailers and things like that to, like, you know, bring back the game, and that is something I will do. When we do these big updates, I will release trailers with them. I want to remake Stand Storage and Gucci Bag. I want to do what MLG said he would do back in the day, and I want to make Stand Storage like 100 slots. I would love to make Gucci Bag the same thing, where it's like you have so much space to work with. You never should have to use alt accounts to go store stuff on alt accounts. You shouldn't have to buy game passes multiple times on different alt accounts. I mean, it's just kind of ridiculous at that point. But yeah, that is something that I really want to do, and I know it's something that a lot of people want to see. So yeah, I want to do that. Thing that we do have planned after this little mini update, I guess you could say, I want to do a bunch of balancing waves. And the first wave, it's going to be every spec in the games, like Hamon, Vampire, Pillarman, Cyborg, all those fun little things that no one ever uses because they kind of just suck. They're going to be balanced out, and they're going to be buffed. A lot of it's going to get buffed, and they should be pretty viable, or at least somewhat viable. Obviously, their movesets aren't really all that great, but hopefully with enough time, maybe we can rework some of them. So yeah, just look forward to something like that coming up in the near future. There's a lot of other smaller things that I, you know, can't really get into, but obviously stand reworks, maybe new stands. I don't know about that one, but it is something that I have thought about, and it is something I do want to do eventually, because it's going to bring more life into the game. Smaller things like, you know, reworking the quest system, because no one ever does quest in Project JoJo. It's sort of just like a needless feature that's kind of there from the old game from like 2018 that, you know, they used to be viable back then when there was like a level cap of 10,000, but now it's capped at level 1,000, and getting EXP is not hard at all. That's another thing. I've thought about just removing the leveling system, because it's like, why even bother? But I don't know. Like honestly, I want to hear what you guys want to see and what you guys think about these plans. So like, obviously use the comment section below to just, you know, comment what you think, you know, would work best for, you know, a rework system for like leveling and things like that. And another thing is, I want to do a Gang Wars rework, because it's honestly awful how it operates right now. No one ever uses it because it's ridiculous that you need 3 or 5 players to do Gang Wars, and then Gang Wars 1v1s is like really weird too. honestly, the balancing all over those game modes is just kind of odd and kind of strange. And eventually, I do want to rework all of it to like function better and maybe even have exclusive maps for it. And I do want to make a special announcement. I mean, Part 7's getting animated. That's pretty important. And I do want to say there is some Part 7 stuff that I have planned for, Project JoJo 1. Nothing's concrete right now. It's all just, ideas in my head. Hopefully there's something cool coming with that when the anime gets here. It's going to be a while for the anime to even get animated. They're working on it right now. So it's going to be 1 to 2 years until we actually see something. But I'm very excited for Part 7, as everyone should be. I mean, it's one of the best parts. It's the new universe. I mean, spoiler. But, but yeah, I'm pretty excited for that. And I feel like this is a great time for JoJo to come back on Roblox and things like that. I mean, it's kind of a new era. And hopefully Project JoJo 1 can be a part of that. Yeah, I'm very excited. I've never really been this passionate about Project JoJo 1 in such a long time. And I feel like I could revive the game. Me and Demekin, the co-developer that works on it with me. I feel like we could honestly revive the game. And it's something that I'm really passionate about and I do want to do. It might take a lot of time and it's gonna take a long time. It's gonna take a lot of effort, but people have been sitting around doing nothing for these past years in PGJ 1, and I think that's time to be changed. And I feel like we are going into a new era with anime and things like that, and it's just something that I really want to see happen. And I think it's time for PGJ 1 to come back, because honestly, a lot of the games on Roblox right now aren't that great, in my opinion, and a lot of the JoJo games especially aren't that great. But I feel like PGJ 1 should have a place up there with some of the top games, and it was a very successful game back then, and it kind of pioneered a lot of the stuff that you see now in games with Roblox and things like that. And it's really helped shape the JoJo Roblox community as a whole, really. I mean, a lot of the games that you see, like AUT, ABD, things like that, I feel like they wouldn't really necessarily be here if it wasn't for PJJ. Which is pretty crazy to think about, honestly, but the games is just that old, I guess. And, I guess it is just a pioneer of its time. Anyways, that's really enough about me yapping about, PGA 1 and glazing it or whatever. But yeah, I just want to be transparent with you guys, and I do want to revive this game, and I feel like it honestly could. And you might say, oh, this is in the way of PGA 2 or whatever. Like, no, this shouldn't be in the way of PGA 2 at all. Me working on this game isn't going to stop development of Project JoJo 2, and they can live on together, I feel like, pretty passively. Like, the dev team for PGA 2 and PGA 1 are completely separate. Really, there's only like 1 or 2 people that are on the same team as one another, and I think they're good enough to the point where it's like they're not going to be that busy working on both games. I mean, it's not really that big of a deal, honestly. And if you think that, like, I mean, I don't know, like, I'm the owner of both games, I'm telling you, it's not going to affect the development speed of either game, honestly. So that's not really something to be worried about necessarily. And I guess a small message for Heaven's Arena people, since you guys are here, and maybe even Street Strikers people. Street Strikers 2, yeah, it's coming. We've been working on that a lot recently, especially MLG. Yeah, it's something to be excited for. And for Heaven's Arena people, we are still working on an update. Things have kind of gotten sidetracked, obviously, with working on Street Strikers 2. We want to appease both, communities and things like that, so we are working on stuff. It's just going to take a long time, and, making games isn't easy, guys, nor is updating them or keeping them up. I mean, just look at PGA 1. It's been dead for what? Well, it was dead for a long time when MLG left, and it's kind of got revived a little bit when I got into the game or whatever. But yeah, hopefully we can revive every game. That would be great. Getting Heaven's Arena back up in order, getting PGA 1 back up in order, and getting Street Strikers 2 out, and having the Street Strikers community be happy, since their game has been dead for a long time too, just like Project JoJo 1. So yeah, Street Strikers is kind of in the same boat as PGA, honestly, at this point, but they don't have a remake to go to yet, like the PGA community did, where like we have PGA 2 now for the people that are kind of newer to the Roblox community, where they can play a newer version of the game and be kind of happy with it. That's another thing where it's like PGA 1 and PGA 2, yeah, they're vastly different, honestly, and I feel like at PGA 2 it's up to the standards of like the newer games on the website, while PJ1 is kind of like for the older, the old gens, I guess you could say. Use a little bit of slang there or whatever. I feel like this is a new era, I guess. Hopefully, we'll see. It's gonna take a bit, and I don't want to make any false promises, but I will be here and I will be working on the game, and I want to get stuff done. So yeah, that's really it. Thanks for tuning in. If you're watching this, I'm gonna try to get this posted out pretty soon, and hopefully everybody will see it. Probably not though, but yeah. Anyways, guys, I'll see you all later, and peace.